Welcome to the Let 'em Know podcast. This podcast is sponsored by golf. Yes, the game of golf. You hate to love it, but love it anyway. Anyway, welcome to our first episode. I'm your host, Teak. We're going to hop in and talk about the 23 NFL season. We're talking about fantasy football. We're talking about the running back position. Just want to get right into it, dive on our first episode. We're going to talk about how these players are going to perform this year compared to how they're going to do what they did last year. We're going to dive right in, and we're going to wrap it up at the end of the episode, telling you what's in store for next one. Let's jump right into it. We are going straight to the running backs here. So we got the tier system breaking down here. Obviously the S tier up top dogs of their caliber. We all know who these main guys are right off the rip. Got a couple that might surprise you, but let's get right into it here. S tier running backs. Just from last year, we're going to go with this guy right here, Christian McCaffrey. And again, this ain't going to be in any order whatsoever. We're just going on, throwing on what tier they're going to be on. But Christian McCaffrey last year, stud at the running back position. So I'm only doing PPR as well. I'm only in PPR leagues. So that's what I'm going off of as well, not just standard as well. So Christian McCaffrey, first off here, last year had 1,100 on the ground, 8 touchdowns. He placed second in running backs overall, just behind our next guy in the S tier. We all know Christian McCaffrey also catches the rock, had 800 yards there with 5 TDs as well. Gets quite a few targets as well. Had over 100 targets as a running back with 85 catches as well. So PPR guy, he is your guy. He did it in Carolina. He's doing it in San Francisco. You have that out of him. And his range really didn't go down with all the weapons they got in San Fran with Ayuk, Debo, and all that as well, and Kittle. Next guy up, this was number 1 fantasy running back last year, Austin Eckler. This guy, almost 1,000 yards on the ground, 13 TDs. He did most of his damage catching the ball. 128 targets, 107 catches with 722 yards and 5 TDs as well through the air. Those 2 S tier guys right off the rip. I think everybody would have them in this tier. Kind of no-brainers. All right. Next on this list here, some guys that are going to surprise you. I'm going off this tier list of what they're going to do this season. So, tier is going to be skewed a little bit here. Let me know in the comments what you think. You would have changed, who you saw up a tier, down a tier, who you like for this season, who don't you like. Leave them in the comments below. I love looking at everybody's opinions and stuff like that. It's just something I like to do. Next, I'm going to put S tier. I'm going to go Saquon Barkley S tier this year. I think he's going to have like a Josh Jacobs season, how Josh Jacobs had last year. I think that's going to be Saquon Barkley this year. I'm not a fan of Danny Dimes, but if you don't have a great quarterback, those quarterbacks or a rookie quarterback, those guys usually like the dump downs or they like the tight end. And I feel like he's going to get a lot of dump downs. He still produced 1,300 yards on the ground, 10 touchdowns. He had his fair share of targets as well. 76 targets, caught 57 of them, 338 through the air, but no TDs through the air. Like I said, he's still a PPR guy, and I think he's going to take that next level as well and have a Josh Jacobs season. So that's why I have him in there. My next guy is strictly, I know I'm going to get a lot of grief for this. It's the potential. It's what I'm already seeing out of the OTAs, out of what I'm reading, what I'm watching on video already. Um, I'm gonna get a lot of criticism for it because he's a hometown favorite of mine as well. But I'm gonna put him in S tier. I think he can be like an Eckler. Um, is it gonna be this year? I hope so. But I'm gonna actually put Bijan Robinson there. Yes, they have Tyler Algier, they have Cordell Patterson. I don't see Cordell Patterson running the ball much in this system anymore. He really, they really shied away from him after Algier caught fire there, and yeah, Algier's gonna take some carries away from him. They got Bijan lined up in the slot though, so he's gonna be a PPR guy again, rookie quarterback, kind of rookie. Played started what 4 or 5 games where it started last year, so technically I still give him rookie status even though it's his sophomore year. Um, so he's gonna love the dump downs. He's playing slot. You know he's gonna get carries. Um, they're revving about this kid from the get go. Out of the everybody said we drafted him too early. I don't think so. I think he would have been gone by Detroit or the Eagles. But I have him missed here. Let me know what you think about that. I know I'm gonna get a lot of grief on that one. But that wraps up my S tier. I'm actually gonna go to the A tier now. This next guy, let's see who we got here. This next guy, Mr. Reliable. I think he's going to have a huge season. Mr. Consistent is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, I believe, is the most consistent back in the NFL. 1,500 yards on the ground, 12 TDs. Uh, has 37 targets. Hopefully that goes up. Maybe Kareem Hunt not being there helps that. But he did have a touchdown through the air, just one with 200 yards as well. Maybe those targets go up a little bit. But he is Mr. Consistent. I know he had a big connection with Jim Brown. He's dedicating the season to Jim Brown. So I think this is going to be a huge year for Nick Chubb. So I have Nick Chubb in my A tier as well. Moving on. Let's see here. A tier, A tier. Derrick Henry. Everybody's saying he's old, getting up there in age as a running back. You can say that all you want until he proves me otherwise. I ain't doubting the guy at all. He finished fourth among running backs last year, 1,500 yards rushing on the ground, 13 TDs. Doesn't really catch the ball that much. Has 33 catches for about 400 yards, but still, that's something. Want something out of the guy for PPR, and he still gives you a little bit of that as well, which is nice. So I have him in the A tier as well. Moving down the line here as well. Like I said, it's not in any order on the tier list. I'm going to have... See, I got talked into this one today. I was talking about this guy at work. He made valid points. So I'm going to place him here for now. But I'm going to move him to the back of the tier list just because I think he's in between B and A. Okay? Just for that reason. So, I'm going to put Najee in A. I think he's in between B and A, like I said. I got talked into this one. Went over 1,000 by a little bit there. 7 TDs. Yards wise through the air, he finished 229 with 41 receptions. Finished 14th last year among running backs. So I got him in between there. What stood out to me, and I had the conversation at work, and I already had this on my mind. The Steelers this season really stocked up on the offensive line. That was kind of their missing thing, and they addressed that. Their defense is there. They got receivers. You might not say they're Jamar Chase level, Justin Jefferson level, but they do have receivers. With them having a broken down offensive line and him putting up over 1,000 yards on the ground and him coming off an injury where I'm told he's 100%, we'll see. With that Liz Frank injury I believe he had. We'll see how he is if he stays healthy. But I do agree if that offensive line is shored up now, I think he's going to have a better season and be up there on the A list. If that injury causes him grief, if that offensive line is not as what we thought it was going to be like, I know they drafted Broderick Jones in the first round this year. I think he's going to be that B tier. So that's why I have him floating between that B and A. I'm going to leave him in the back part of A for that reason. All right. So we're going to move on now. Let's see here. We got Josh Jacobs. You got to put Josh Jacobs A tier just for what he did last season. Do I think his production is going to go down? Yes, I do. But I'm going to leave him A tier because he is that kind of talent. We'll see. We don't know who the QB is right now in Oakland. Or I was going to say Oakland. I'm so used to saying Oakland and Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs finished third last year with 1,600 on the ground, 12 TDs, and he's also helps in the passing game, 400 yards. Catching, 53 catches total. I think, depending on the QB, he's going to fluctuate as well. But he is a talent where he's going to give you A-list production if that line's there on the ground. So I'm going to leave him in A for now as well. But the Najee, I got to slide him back just for that as well. Also A, I'm going to put Jonathan Taylor, my next one. Yes, he didn't have a great season last year due to injury. He was in and out of the season. He finished 34th. He still almost had 1,000 yards. He had about I believe it was 860, 4 TDs, and he also had almost 200 yards in the passing. They got their QB for the future, so that's looking up for them. Hopefully Anthony Richardson balls out. Again, rookie QB, dump downs, running the ball, make sure he knows the playbook. Tight ends, I think Jonathan Taylor, if he stays healthy, is an A as well. So, and then going on here, let's see. With the guys we have left, I got one more guy to put in the A tier. And that guy is going to be Tony Pollard. I was raving about this guy for years now. I think they should have moved on from Zeke. I know you can't move on from him that quick just because the contract they gave him. I understand the reasoning. Doesn't mean you have to actually give him the ball as much as they did. I think they should have faded out Zeke a long time ago, about 2-3 years now. I knew this guy was going to blow up. He did when they finally gave him the rock at the end of the season. Tony Pollard finished 7th among running backs last year. Over 1,000 yards, 9 TDs. This guy also catches the rock, 39 catches for 371, 3 TDs through the air as well. So another season, they stacked up on offense again. It seems like as soon as they get rid of a good receiver, they get another good receiver. TP adds on to that offensive attack. I think he should roll with that offense now. But that wraps up the A tier. Let me know in the comments again what you like, what you don't like about this list so far. I have actually TP. If I had to put them in order, I like that order up top. This order, I would go like this for this order. I think JT has a better season than Josh Jacobs. That offense is in disbelief right now. Devontae Adams had some comments about it already. But that's, if I had to put an order, that's what the order I'll be in. So B tier. I feel like there's going to be a lot of guys in B and C. I kind of want to skip to D, to be honest with you. But B tier, I think, starting, we got Dalvin Cook here. I think Dalvin, depending on where he goes, he just got released today by the Vikings. He's either going to Buffalo or Miami. Those are his 2 stops. He's already been seen in the Hard Rock Cafe in Miami. That offense is going to be clicking on all cylinders. I feel like Miami's team, if they add Dalvin Cook, is a top team as well. I think he'd be a top. Tua just has to stay healthy, really. Tua stays healthy. There's nothing that offense can't do, I believe. You saw what they did to Buffalo when Tua was healthy. He broke him down. That guy just got to make sure he stays on his feet. get down, throw the ball away, whatever he has to do. Because one more hit, I'm scared for that guy. But I believe Dalvin Cook will be is B tier material here. So also in B tier, I have Dalvin Cook also finished 10th, by the way, overall last year in Minnesota's offense. So curious what to see when the field's a lot more open with Waddle if he goes there in Tyreek. Moving on as well, I think, let's see. Ramondre Stevenson, I'm putting B tier. Damian Harris is gone. They're giving the reins to Ramondre, even though I know the Patriots love playing 2-3 back still. Ramondre Stevenson is the clear-cut guy. Over 1,000 yards, 5 TDs. Plays a little bit in the passing game as well. 400 yards, 69 catches, and a TD. I think he's B tier. Depending on his season, if he stays healthy again, he might jump up to A and surprise some people this year. So, finishing 11th overall, not a bad sign whatsoever. All right. B tier, B tier, B tier. Now, ETN, I feel like this is all going to be a health with the B tier. ETN stays healthy. Again, over 1,000 yards, 5 TDs. I believe he missed a couple games. A little bit in the passing game. They kind of restacked up. They have quite a running backs there in Jacksonville as well. But if he stays healthy, I think that offense is going to click on all cylinders. Calvin Ridley's back this year. It's going to open up the field on the rushing game as well. You got to respect him. He hasn't played in 2 years. We'll see how he goes. Everybody's saying he's looking good. Hate to hear that. Hopefully he does well there, but wish he was still in Atlanta with the Birds. But moving on, B tier. Breece Hall as well. Stays healthy. I think he's going to be a problem. I think Breece Hall is going to be a problem. Stays healthy again. It's one of the beloved running backs when he came out, popped on the scene. Oh, I'm looking down here. I don't know. It's kind of sketchy what I want to put in B tier here. Just like this guy, he came on the scene hard. Dameon Pierce, another guy, came on the scene hard. People loved him. Where did he finish last year? 27th, right? So he played 13 games last season, so he missed a couple games. Almost 1,000 yards. He would have been over 1,000 if he would have played. 30 catches. He does it in everything. They stacked up on offense as well. Opens up the field. Dalton Schultz is there now. They got a couple receivers there as well. Help him out. New QB. We'll see how that goes in Houston. So that'd be interesting to watch during this year as well. Another guy. These young guys. I feel like there's a bunch of running backs that are just solid this coming year. Like, for fantasy, it's crazy. Kenneth Walker again. Where did he finish here? 16th. He missed a couple games as well. Over 1,000 yards, 9 TDs, a little bit in the passing game, 27 catches. I feel like you're going to see a heavy dose. If he's a full go, you're going to see a heavy dose of Kenneth Walker there. If he stays healthy and looks good and plays the part. Solid back in Seattle as well. I'll keep him in B tier. Going down the list here, B tier. I think I'm going to give this kid, just because he's drafted high, I like what I saw out of the tape. Alabama produces good offensive players. It just, and running backs especially. It's crazy how many running backs the SEC has. I'm just looking at this list right now. Henry, Alabama. I believe Josh Jacobs went there. Najee. Did Ramondre go there? I don't remember if Ramondre went there or not. And then Gibbs. Gibbs is a smaller back, more the reception guy. That's why I have him so high at B. Reception guy. They took him high for a reason. And like I said before, if the Falcons didn't take Bijan, I believe Detroit or the Eagles would have took Bijan where they were. So I have him on the B tier as well. Going down the list as well, B tier. It's tough. These next backs, it's tough. B tier running backs. It's getting down to because you're like, why do you he finished this high last year, Teague? Why do you have him there? Well, this year's different. Guys move from team to team. You don't know what you're gonna get. I might skip around now between tiers because it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Ah, man, it's getting tough. We'll go down to D real quick. This is A Chain. Um, the guy out of Miami that Miami drafted. Like I said, this guy goes to Miami. This guy might not even see the field. So I'm going to put him in D just because of that. Quick, speedy back. He's going to be mostly pass catching. Dalvin's going to use some of those targets if he goes there as well. Does he want to play with his brother in Buffalo in the cold weather? Or does he want to be in nice weather, starting with a loaded offense? Who knows? Both have good offenses, but I feel like Miami is a little bit more loaded on both sides of the ball, really. Um, this is going to surprise some people. The C tier is going to be like prove it years for me. Um, it really is. I think Kamara, I'm putting C tier. Yeah, he didn't have a good QB last year. He has Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr. I don't want to say excellent. I think Derek Carr is a good QB. His numbers should go up, but I feel like it's a prove it year for him. There's been rumblings he wanted out for a little bit of New Orleans. Don't know if that's true or not, but this is a prove it year for him. Again, this even though Aaron Jones finished, I believe, what was it? He finished top 10, I believe. Yep. Aaron Jones finished ninth in fantasy for running backs. 1,100 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns, 300 yards through the air. These numbers are definitely going to be skewed now that Aaron Rodgers is in New York. We'll see how he does with Jordan Love at the helm for the whole season. A.J. Dillon's still there, going to hawk some of those red zone carries. I know that for a fact, having Aaron Jones, it's boom or bust with him in fantasy when A-Rob was there. He was steady for a little bit. Then he had like a 5-point game. Steady, 25 bomb, 30 bomb, 5. I think he got hurt a couple times. Let's see. Did he play all 18 or 17? It says he played all, so he must have got hurt, came out for a little bit. I know I was watching some games, and he came out quite a few times to ankle injuries and stuff like that. So that's a prove it year for him as well. Another guy prove it, Joe Mixon. Yes, Joe Mixon finished 12th among running backs. He almost didn't get re-signed back to the Bengals. He just recently got re-signed back to the Bengals. Mixon finished with 800 yards on the ground and 400 through the air with a total of 9 touchdowns. So it's also a prove it year for him as well. I feel like Joe Mixon's been in Cincinnati forever. So that's going to be a prove it year as well for him. Moving along here. I think there's going to be a lot of guys in C and B. I'm going to move in between these. I really am. Isaiah Pacheco. Oh, man. This is getting tough now. I'm putting James Conner in C. Actually, this is tough. I'm keeping back down. No, I'm not putting it in C. You got to think of the moves the team's made. D-Hop wants out. It was obviously released, wants out, left. A lot of things are happening with that organization. It's kind of in limbo. Kyler Murray, we don't know when he's coming back. So I'm actually going to put him in D just because of that. Not because of the player he is. I'm a big James Conner fan. Went to same high school as him. Know the brothers. Brothers are great guys. just the situation he's in. I don't think you're going to see his full potential out of him um, over there in Arizona. That's why I'm going to give him a D. That whole organization's in is crazy right now. Khalil Herbert, I'm also going to put in D. Damian Harris, I'm going to put in D. He moved to Buffalo, I believe, from the Patriots. Like Dalvin goes there, he stays D. If not, he might move up to a C. They got James Cook there as well. We don't know who's going to be that back there for sure. So I'm going to keep him D. J.K. Dobbins, I'm going to put in C. Injury prone, the main reason. I'm going to put him in C. Just, I know a lot of these guys are injury prone, but if he stays healthy with that offense now, he can have a blow up season. He can actually be B if he stays healthy. But his injuries, I'm keeping him in C because he drove me insane last year when I needed him. So I'm going to keep him in C. Rashard White, I'm keeping in D. Nothing against the guy. Again, that organization as well right now. Their quarterback room's a mess. Yeah, they got some receivers, but that quarterback room's a mess. So if I'm playing against them, I'm stacking the box because I'm going to let Baker beat me with his arm 99 out of 100 times if we played. So moving on from that, this is getting tough right now. There's a bunch of C or B guys. I don't know if I want to throw a couple of these guys in B, C. These guys are all over the board. So Brian Robinson, quick rundown of him: 800 yards on the ground. Doesn't really catch much at all. Only played 12 games last year. Again, injury. So I'm going to keep him in C as well. A lot of guys getting hurt. It's a tough position. A lot of injury guys. Isaiah Pacheco played 17, 830 on the ground, 5 TDs, 130 yards catching. Doesn't really catch that much. I feel like the Chiefs, no matter who you plug in there, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're already done with him. People drafted him high in the first round when he first came out his rookie season. I've seen Pacheco go pretty high. I don't see it. They're just plug and play running backs. It's not a bad thing. It's just how the Chiefs operate in their offense. And am I taking Isaiah Pacheco over one of these guys? Maybe over Brian Robinson. But again, Brian Robinson had 800 on the ground, and Pacheco had 830 on the ground, and he played all games, and Brian Robinson played 12. Yeah, Antonio Gibson's there as well. It's a horse apiece, really. He's floating in between. So I'm gonna keep him in. This is tough. I'm gonna go D. Because he might. I'm putting him back for now. He's driving me nuts. He's really driving me nuts. That's another guy that I want nothing to do with in fantasy, really. But I'm going to put Swift in C. New team to the Eagles. Do I like the fit? I don't know yet. Swift played 14 games. He's also an injury-prone running back. 500 on the ground, 5 TDs. Does a little bit of pass catching. The problem why I have him so low as well, he is a very talented running back. Issue is multiple reasons. Injury prone, for one, like I mentioned. The Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, Miles Sanders had a good season last year. But other than that, if Before that, they barely run the ball with their running backs. If they do, it's like a four running back committee. Exception of Miles Sanders last year. Miles Sanders had a career year with Philly with 1,200 yards, 11 TDs. I just don't see the fit unless they're going to take a load off Jalen Hurts in the run game. But usually the red zone in the run game is Jalen Hurts 9 out of 10 times watching these Eagles games. It drives me nuts. You have Miles. If you had Miles Sanders last year, he might would have been a league winner for you, to be honest. Especially if you drafted him low. But so I'm also going to put Miles Sanders in C. Just following up with that, move to Carolina. Everything's new in Carolina. Carolina is bright and shiny right now. New coach, new QB, new weapons, new running back, new receiver, new Q. It's everything's new. They're like the shiny new toy at the store that everybody lines up for right now. So everybody's got to get on point. Yeah, they have an off season. You're going to tell me they do that in, but that many guys being new, we'll see how it works out. I believe they got my Falcons week 1 as well. We'll see how that goes. So moving on. Isaiah Pacheco is just staring me down because I don't know where to put him right now. It's driving me insane. So, man. Cam Akers played 15 games. Almost 800 on the ground. 7 TDs. Not really much in the passing game. His numbers could if Matt Stafford stays healthy, numbers could go up in that. That offense is Cooper Kupp or bust. Man. That's tough. Cooper Kupp or bust out here. I'm going to go Cam Akers, D. Isaiah Pacheco, D. And Javonte Williams. He was a beast until he got hurt. Oh, they don't even have Alexander Madison on this list. I think he's going to have a solid year. I'd put him in C, maybe end of B. So he's not on this list. That's where I would put him. J.K. Dobbins only played 8 games and had 500 yards on the ground. That's why J.K. Dobbins is there. Gosh. What do you do with Javonte? He played 4 games last year. 200 yards. Okay. Man. Basically had 50 on the ground. Man, that's tough. He got hurt quick. It's going to be a prove-it year for Javonte Williams as well. It's going to be a prove-it year. I know he's a lot of keepers in some leagues of mine. I kind of bit him in the ass because we only do one keeper in our leagues. My keeper is Jamar Chase in that league. As a rookie, people were scared of the whole drop passes in the combine and stuff. So I got him fairly low, which I was very happy about. But Javonte Williams, it's going to be a prove-it year for this guy. I don't know when he comes back. Is there a timeline when he comes back? I'm not sure. I don't think there's a timeline. Recovering. He'll miss the start. So his ACL, obviously, he's out with the knee. He's gonna miss the start of the season. Which, okay, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket with him, like I said, unless he's a keeper. So I would leave him at C. It's a prove-it year for him. I don't think he's the D. I don't think he belongs in there because if he's healthy, he stacks up against any of these guys down here. So it's a prove-it year for him. I'm going to put him in C. lock it in. That is my tier list for the 23 fantasy NFL season. Um, next week, next episode, we're going to switch positions. Maybe QBs, maybe wide receivers. Who knows? Let me know in the comments what position you want to do next. Talk about it. See your thoughts on it. And we'll go from there. Down the line, hopefully, I want to get some people on to interview. I know I'm in the works with talking with some D1 players from different sports. That'd be a pretty interesting thing, going back and forth, asking them about their structure there, what's a day in the life consist of, stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool for this as well. But make sure on YouTube, you hit the subscribe button. Keep the bell on for notifications when I post. And again, in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. I'm Teak, and this is Let 'em Know Podcast. And thanks for watching.